Hi there, welcome to new breaking news within the Noah Presgrove case. I've got some shocking material to share with you today. Credit to the individuals in the background for relaying it and spreading the awareness, letting me know, but not everyone else will have access to it possibly. So I'm presenting it today on YouTube, but more importantly, giving my raw reaction and an analysis on the matter to pick up on things, maybe question stuff others haven't done. We'll see how things go. But you thought beforehand was breaking news. Well, more shocking stuff has come out recently. This is a big burst of all kinds of activity going on, more so online within the different communities. Of course, some who may be a bit skeptical or don't want to rush ahead, I understand. At this moment, I just want to keep up with the latest news and try and understand it. It's in regards to Colton Newton. I think JJ Bumpass, Travis, Monson, their names pop up as well within these Snapchat messages. I will try and explain it as we go along. We'll look at them first, and then we'll look at the reaction, the comments, and the additional responses from JJ speaking out against it on the Facebook page within the comment section thread. We're looking at the material and the reactions all in one video, so it could be a bit of a long one, but we are really focused on a particular theme and focus today. So appreciate it if you do manage to stick around. Welcome to those who could be here in this live premiere. If you are, feel free to make use of the live chat box on the right hand side of the screen. And if at the end of this video you have any questions, additional thoughts, opinions that have changed, let me know down below in the comment section under the video. And for those watching on catch up, I can respond back to those questions on another day. You'll also find a pinned comment by me with additional links if you do want to support this channel. And if you simply want to catch up on the recent videos of mine, whether that be earlier today, as a heads up, ASMR related, one of those, a little bit lighthearted, feel free to check that out. If you're more focused on the case at hand from last night and days before, you'll find it top right corner of the screen where the eye symbol is, and the full playlist as well of this case. So without further ado, let's get straight into the breaking news and these leaked Snapchat messages. To start off with, I just wanted to show you this in case you're wondering who Colton Newton was. For those new to this case and channel, Colton Newton is the older brother to Jack Newton, and all the focus has been on Jack for some months. But all of a sudden, Colton has been brought into the picture. And I was wondering, but why? Well, if you stick around long enough, you'll find out exactly why. But as for context, this was a particular Snapchat in recent time, Colton challenging people to come on down physically face to face to talk it out. It seems like it could escalate, you never know. But this is like the profile of Colton Newton himself. Now, I'm not fully aware of the layout with Snapchat because I don't use it, but I guess you got your own custom AR emoji character, which kind of uses your face, generates it into an animation, what you see on screen. I believe Instagram and TikTok allow it too, such as in the profile pictures. Kind of creative. Just a backstory here, 2003. I was born in 2000. Birthday December 19th. Best friends, Sagittarius. Okay, not much going on here, but I think this was just the person getting a hold of the screenshot of the Colton Newton profile before going on to the messengers. Now, here's the chat section. Don't know who most of these people's names are, but you can see Colton Newton is within one of the chat logs. Screenshot 4 minutes ago. So we'll just move aside. Is there any key names that show up there on screen which ring a bell? Maybe the only one is down at the bottom, slightly out of sight, is the one that says Kobe. Could that well be the name Kobe, what we've heard of in recent time? Let me know what you think about that. But here we go. Now, I don't know if it's in a particular order or what, but this is like what I received it in, so I'm just going to read it out and make sense of it. So as you'll see, you'll be familiar with this layout. We saw it last time with the Caden Pressey situation and Jack Newton. We also saw it with the Stephanie Milan situation and that random person online. In terms of the layout, it's good that it gives the name of the individual who's responding. But in terms of you being the one sending messages, it'll be highlighted as me. So we don't actually know the name of the person that's sending the messages to Colton Newton, which is kind of unfortunate, I'll be honest with you. But as a very vague backstory, from what was said in the comment section, and you will see it later firsthand on Facebook, people were saying that me equals a friend to Noah Presgrove. I guess reached out to Colton, more so in recent time, inquiring about stuff. Now, how significant is that unknown, unnamed friend of Noah Presgrove? Did they attend the party or not? How significant is it? Well, let's just begin reading and try and make sense of the situation. So this says 12:13 p.m. Does it actually give a date? It's hard to tell. But if anyone can fill in the blanks down below, that would be good. The purpose of these videos is to spread awareness so more people see this. And you never know, other areas, it might be deleted, taken down, who knows? So, and these are direct screenshots, meaning the person called me that took them, Colton was aware of too. And you'll see that later. Me says here, sure you do. Jack Newton is going to spend a very, very, very long time in prison. Colton, the brother of Jack, says, nice. If he truly isn't innocent, I'd say he deserves it. But my brother didn't kill his best friend. And in fairness, in the moment you could say, but how well do you know your brother? Does he normally change the story on things when recalling stuff? How would you know if he killed or didn't kill if you weren't at the party yourself? Just hold that thought, right? Because there is some shocking developments later on. And me says, I'm sure you really think that. There seems to be a bit of doubt possibly going on. Is there anything else to highlight here? If he truly isn't innocent, he deserves it. Really? Moving on. Colton says, did you even know Noah Presgrove? Me says, yes, I did. Noah was my friend too. So that gives a bit of backstory there, but anyone can claim to be Noah's friend. And that's not me downplaying this, it's just being realistic, whether that be before or after the event. You can go online and claim to be the friend, just like how an individual did in recent time. What would it called? Dalen or something like that, and others were questioning and saying, are you really the friend? Could that Dalen be this person here? I don't know personally, because no name's given. But Colton says, Noah was a great wrestler. He would F JJ Bumpass up. Noah was a dog. And not a dog as in like an insult, but a dog in, rugged, determined, not backing down, kind of like that. I mean, we have heard that Noah was a good wrestler and stuff, so he could defend himself and I guess more. It's interesting how Colton says with a level of confidence that if in a fight, such as at the party, if anything did happen, indirectly speaking, and if JJ was there and a fight took place with Noah, Noah would be able to take control of the situation pretty quick and mess JJ up. But was JJ truly at the party or not? Well, we'll get to that a bit later. But this is the thing. It doesn't matter how good of a wrestler you are. If you're in a situation where it's 5 against 1, 3 against 1, maybe 2 against 1, it's going to be stacked against you. It will be unfair. If you're good enough, you might be able to pull through, but you're not expected to. And with multiple people present, one could blindside you, a cheap shot. You never know, things could get messy. The question is that what happened in this case? What we've heard of recently with the supposed recorded videos in the background, which have not been truly released publicly, kind of shows a murder taking place and a group of people present. And I believe that does get mentioned somewhere in the screenshots. So Noah's supposed friend says, I am sure you would love your bro Jack too much to ever tell the truth. Yeah, family can protect family. Brothers can protect brothers, sisters, etc. Colton says, better ask me a question right now. I will tell you the truth to the best of my ability on everything I love. I'll be honest with you, so far Colton doesn't sound that threatening. Considering what we've seen previously, whether that be recent time or way back in the past, it didn't take that much to piss Colton off. Whereas here, seems to keep it a bit more under control. I'm not too sure why. And as well, the bit where Colton says, did you even know Noah? It comes across as if this supposed friend of Noah Presgrove has never been around Colton. So it's like a stranger talking to Colton from his point of view. And I'm surprised Colton is being more lenient here when in the past when a stranger online spoke to Stephanie, Colton was like, if you keep on doing that, I'm going to come after you. There was no reasoning. There was no understanding. There was no patience. It was very direct and like a threat from the beginning. So I wonder why it's been toned down a little bit. I'm kind of interested in that. Me says, what do you think of Carter Combs and the fat beep Avery Combs? Colton says, Carter is a decent girl, but not the one for my brother Jack. Avery is not a decent girl, but I don't necessarily think she had anything to do with Noah. I know they fought or something that night, but don't think she'd kill him. Now, it's interesting how Colton adds that on when me wasn't even inquiring about whether they were responsible or not for Noah's death. So why did Colton add that onto the question? You can argue and say me's comment is an open-ended question, which means you can add on your own additional thoughts, but it just makes me wonder, what do you think of Carter Combs and Avery? Carter, decent, but not the one for Jack. Okay, just an opinion, but Jack seems to be fine with Carter. In the past, I was thinking, if there was anything dodgy going on, if you're marrying into another family, you know, where one family connects with another, maybe you can become stronger together, but also could there be some kind of connection in which you're joining us, connecting with us, then can you do something for us, a favour, or just do it out of honour and respect? I don't know. You know, when you look out for other people, you might not be as likely to look out for strangers that could be in trouble, but if you're closer to them, you bridge that gap, you become a part of one, like a family, a total one in a way, an extended family. You're more likely to go out of your way. So at a time where maybe people were thinking Jack Newton may not be the killer, but could know something, is he being controlled? Is he a puppet by higher-ups or other people within Howard family or Newton family? That's just a bit of a comparison or a contrast to the Dylan Rounds case, where at one point people thought that James Brenner, the murderer, was being controlled or played off by other locals or ones from Montello, Nevada. When it came to Kurt Wadsworth, was Brenner the fall guy to take the blame for it all when he really wasn't the main one responsible? In the end, he was the main one responsible, and from the looks of it, the only one. So that was a waste of time, wasn't it? But you see how theories can develop, escalate, and at times also be debunked and go flat. Where does it lie? Right here. I mean, the timing of Jack getting with Carter, the timing of when they got together in the first place. I think Jack worded it in his interview that it was like a week or two ago before the party, which sounds kind of close, doesn't it? And maybe in some way convenient somehow. It was Robin, Smith, Ashley, Chadwick that said, no, that's not right. It was months before when they got together. So why the discrepancies in, oh yeah, we met like a week or two before the party, and then Noah's family say, oh, it was months before. Why minimise how long you've known someone? Is there a reason behind that, a motive? Would Jack minimise it, downplay it? Wouldn't surprise me, only because of how it's come about previously when it came to the argument Saturday And then Monday, Jack eventually chose not to acknowledge it anymore, such as the Partners in True Crime interview. He actually downplayed it in a way and glossed over it with Monday, changing the focus to Logan being the last person to see Noah walk away and completely not even acknowledging the confrontational argument, which is questionable in its own right. But let's just return back to the situation with Carter and Avery. Now, what we heard in Partners in True Crime when it came to Avery Combs, in which some people refer to as Avery Howard, same person then, I believe, yeah, it was Jack. And this is just from what Jack said, roughly speaking, that after or before being called a fat beeb, that Avery said, "Oh, you're going to say that? I'll kill you." Was it truly meant? Maybe not. But still, when you look back retrospectively, it doesn't sound too good, considering Noah supposedly did call Avery a bad word, and supposedly Avery chased him. For how far? How long? I don't know. Would Avery get out of breath? I don't know. If people are drunk and you're running about, could you stumble and fall? Maybe, but I'm not linking that to the death situation. Could Avery have followed Noah outside of the property and then things escalated? Or did she stop and some of the people around she told what happened? That's one of the theories, what we were looking at previously in the past. But in terms of Colton's response here, hasn't got too much bad to say about Carter, but in terms of Avery, not a decent girl. But does Colton actually elaborate as to why she's not a decent person? In what way? Foul-mouthed, not loyal, messes about with past people? I mean, Avery kind of demonstrated it herself in one of the TikTok videos of hers, I guess in recent time, where it was interpreted as psychological issues, but also effing with boyfriends, people from the past. Physically, mentally, not too sure, I can't remember, but it was like, you moved on, but have they? And then there was a line where Avery said, "In the end, I found out that I'm not actually the problem. It's other people." Ooh, that line. Is that kind of like pinning the blame elsewhere, shifting the responsibility on others? Could that same attitude apply to the Noah Presgrove case? Who knows? I'm just adding on from what I've seen and heard, because clearly Colton hasn't mentioned too much here. I mean, for Colton, though, to say, yeah, Carter is decent, but not the true one love for Jack. And as for Avery, not a decent person. Oh, but by the way, let me just add on, even though you didn't ask me to or question about it, I don't think that Avery was responsible. I know they fought or so, which was probably the bedroom situation, but I don't think that she killed him. You don't think. So you're not 100% sure. It's just what you think, kind of like an opinion. Interesting. It's like when you mention something bad about a person, but then you backtrack and say, "Oh, well, even though I said that they've got a short fuse. Oh, even though I said that they can get angry easily, don't mean to say that they killed that person. No, don't think of it like that." Is Colton backtracking in a way with that language? Makes you think. Let's move on. This one's a bit more zoomed out, so hopefully you can still see it on screen. I know some people said that the images were a little bit blurry last time, but that probably was because it was on Facebook and the text, the font was custom, making it a little bit wonky, whereas on here it should be a lot clearer. I probably could zoom in if that would help people, something like that, and then I'll just double tap the screen afterwards. So, ongoing in this conversation, Colton says, "You sure sound pretty dumb. Also, what would I tell him?" So we're kind of skipping ahead. As said, some of these screenshots may not be in the exact order. I'm just relaying them as in how I received them, and maybe when saving the photos to the device, I don't know if it would have switched them up, but we'll make sense of it as we go along. What I probably should have done was check the timestamps of what you see on screen. That would have made more sense. That's 12/20/21, but there's no timestamp mentioned there or there, so it's a little bit tricky, but nevertheless, Colton, you sure sound pretty dumb. So the insults are rolling in right now for whatever reason. Also, what would I tell him? Tell him. Who's him? JJ? Caden? Caden Pecker? Anyone else? Travis? Jack Newton? Not too sure. But Colton, in quotes, someone saw you in a video. He hears that shit every day, bud. Maybe Colton is referring to Jack Newton, possibly? And in terms of seeing a specific individual in a video, are we talking about the secret recorded video at the highway? Or more likely, the supposed murder video of Noah's death? And whoever's mentioned here, in which Colton's referring to, is in that video, participating or watching. Nevertheless, doesn't sound too good. Me response says, say what you want. When I see the video of you and Travis with the fat ass, JJ Bumpass, then it's over. What does that mean, then it's over? Your cover's blown, time to pay, justice, get arrested, maybe? Could it be interpreted as a threat? Who knows? We look at it from both sides. But for this person to say, when I get to see it, when it's time, I wonder why they've not seen it yet, because they don't have access, they're not allowed to see it. I mean, how would they be able to access it? Is this like the same situation with the general public? It's going to be released public, or what? Made me think. But for this person to have not seen the video footage yet, but to state it as, when I do see it, and when I do see you and some others within it, it's game over. So this supposed friend of Noah seems very confident as in who's responsible for Noah's death and the fact that it's a murder situation. Now, these names may not stand out as much now considering what we've heard of in recent time, but basically in his supposed video, which could be interpreted as the murder one, Travis Monson, Colton Newton and JJ Bumpass are all present. But that would only mean, what, 3 individuals? And I'm sure there might have been a description somewhere in the background or on a different platform that there might have been 5 people. In terms of afterwards, the highway situation, after Caden supposedly left the scene, there was like 4 or 5 guys present, I think 5 in total, 1 behind the camera and 4 people in shot on the highway next to the body. Does that link in any way as to what we're seeing here? I don't think so. It's got its own separate meaning, that the highway one was more to do with highlighting the possible foul play and disposing of evidence harming the scene. But we have covered that, touched upon it in the past. It may always come back around, maybe we can link it on. But anyway, Colton Newton says, it's never true. Travis was with me. I know he didn't do anything. Now, in terms of when we're seeing people defending themselves, JJ Bumpass previously said, I wasn't at the party, I wasn't there. I was actually with Pecker, Caden Pecker. Bit weird, isn't it? And it showed a Snapchat conversation of JJ asking Caden Pecker, we weren't there, we were elsewhere, weren't we? Oh, yeah, we were at B-dubs. What does B-dub mean? Well, some people interpreted it as short for Bub Wilcoxon, kind of a key individual within this case, come up a few times. And if not Bub Wilcoxon, a person called Kay in the comment section on my channel said it can mean, is it buffalo wings? Basically like a food place where you can eat food. No reference to Taco Bell though, but I think that came up afterwards in another discussion or the comments section thread on Facebook itself, where there was supposed timestamps where people were proving that, we were actually there and we were there all night or all that time, but then taking consideration that Taco Bell, what time was it, closes or opens at 4 a.m, closes at 4 a.m. I'm not too familiar with the timing of businesses in the US, but I just thought I'd add that in for some context. We probably bring that back up later on in the video when we go onto Facebook, so don't worry about that. But it's just very interesting, this. It's never true. What does that even mean? Normally you say, it's not true. No, it's not right. No. To say it's never true, it's just a weird way of saying it. Travis was with me. Me, as in, not me as in what Travis said with me, but me as in the best friend to Noah, says, find that hard to believe that Travis was with you, Colton. Colton says, but hey, you get you a good group of 5 to 6 guys and we'll see what happens. Oh, here we go. Ring the bell. Counter 1. Hit or, whatever you want to call it. Here comes the threats. Great. Me does say, though, JJ Bumpass pinged at the party house. Now, that sounds quite shocking, doesn't it? Once again, you would ask for proof. Do we have hard evidence? Do we have, like, a photo, a screenshot of that official phone ping? I know in the Dylan Rounds case, I don't think we actually got the hard evidence. We just had to trust and believe in what the family said. And that was enough. But in this case, there are so many people and stories changing. The trust factor, especially online with kind of strangers, it is a lot harder and a bit more demanding. But me says JJ pinged at the house. Colton says JJ was there, not Travis. Oh no. The language. Take in mind, this is like a raw reaction, okay? So Colton is defending Travis. Fair enough, but does it exactly make sense? Probably not, because we have seen photos to suggest Travis was actually at the party, and it has been added on by like Sheree Divinity by saying it was taken Saturday night, I think uploaded Sunday morning, Travis being present at the party. And yet Colton is defending Travis. Is that because Colton is close to Travis? They're not related, just friends. But, if you get on well with someone, you might be more likely to defend them in the right way or wrong. I just wanted to go back over anything just in case I've missed out anything. I'm sure you really think that. No, I think I'm okay up to now. I am trying to process this all on the spot, so it's quite a lot. And there is even more backlog of information and breaking news coming out. There's a lot to try and take in mind. So, in terms of up to now, just zoom back in. I've not seen Colton contradict himself yet, from what I can remember, but you could interpret it that Colton may have thrown JJ under the bus to say, yep, he was there. Interesting. But the ping, very interesting. It would be nice to see visually then. But it's interesting how Colton doesn't like making excuses or, he just says, yeah, JJ was there. And yet JJ has claimed he wasn't. So that would possibly highlight JJ as a liar. But I'm not saying Colton is a liar at the moment, because I still need to try and learn all this on the spot. But just in a general situation, if a liar was to supposedly tell the truth about something of a person who's a liar too, who the hell are you supposed to believe in? A liar ratting out another liar, in which that liar stating they weren't there, but the previous possible liar saying that they were? Oh no, it's a bit of a headache moment in a way. But it's interesting now, Colton is sticking up for Travis, but not JJ. No excuses made. But JJ himself has tried protesting that he wasn't at the party. Not a chance, not at all. But supposedly that video footage of the murder shows JJ within the camera shot. So it could be like 2 lots of different proofs or evidence or witnesses saying that's the case. Now, how would Colton Newton know if JJ was actually there? I know me says, well, I know it based off the ping at the house. Is that what Colton Newton is aware of too? Or did he know in other ways? Because there was like a conversation of JJ saying, yeah, I'm at the party, or I'm thinking of going down there, or a friend relayed it on to Colton, I wonder. But these names coming out of the woodwork who may have not been mentioned before in the past, or the faces showed up but the names weren't added on. Now, after all this time passing by, why now? I think some people highlighted it as this is where people start panicking, throwing one another under the bus, ratting some out to protect themselves, desperation kicking on in. That's where you get that sudden rush and flow. I'd understand that. We'll see. I mean, how different is Colton Newton to his younger brother Jack Newton? Are they similar in personality, attitude? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I can't reach a conclusion just yet, but it's very interesting how two different individuals confirmed that JJ was at the party. Now, me, supposedly, I'm guessing, wasn't at the party, so the only reason why they know is due to a phone ping. But how many other people know about that ping? Does Noah Presgrove's family know about it? Can it be backed up by anybody else besides the supposed recorded footage? Is there any proof and evidence that can actually be physically shown publicly to reinforce it? I can understand the video being private, possibly because of legal reasons, it being sensitive. You want to handle it with care. I understand that. But is there any alternative methods of full-on proof? I guess what I have said in the past, the more and more people who individually come to a consensus without any biasness or influencer effect, you could be more likely to believe in it. And considering that me and JJ are separately in agreement and there's no tension or resistance there, it's just accepting it. Yeah, JJ was there, then clearly Colton doesn't have close ties to JJ in a way where you would have to protect him if JJ was truly there. But as for Travis, that's very interesting. Now, has JJ spoken in defense of Travis? Can't remember. When we looked at that response, it was more so about JJ Bumpass and his friend Caden Pecker. As for Travis, I can't remember much being mentioned about him. So is Travis just being casted aside and just let out to the pack of wolves for criticism? I don't know. Travis himself I've not really seen spoken up either. Why is that? Keeping a low profile? Some kind of guilt? Or not knowing how to deal with the situation? We need to move on. So once again, no timestamps, at least on the side of the text. I guess maybe because it was cut out. That's why I don't know the order. But Colton says, I was at the party the night before Noah died. Oh, another person comes forward. Colton himself. Never been mentioned before, to my knowledge. Over the year that's passed by, I've never once seen Colton admit that he's been at the party. It doesn't matter what night, just to say that you were there at some point in the presence of Noah. To what proximity or degree, I don't know. It's still very interesting because after all this time, it was important to know, to learn, understand who was actually at the party, what were they doing there, how well connected were they to the other individuals. How it was told by Caden Pressey and maybe some others. Saturday and Sunday morning mainly was the time for long-time friends of different ages hanging out, having a good, positive time, with the exception of Jack and Noah having a bit of an argument later on Saturday. And then Sunday morning hanging out to get breakfast. Sounds perfectly normal. Caden Pressey even relayed the names. Caden, Jack, Noah, Brylan, Isaac, Avery, Carter, Logan, and apologies if I did miss out any other names. They were the long-time friends all hanging out, at least 8 people. But then what about Travis? Don't seem to get brought up. But there's talks about Travis being there Saturday and Sunday morning. So what does that make Travis to the close-knit friends of long time? Why didn't Caden mention Travis' name? If we're talking about Monday, 3 in the morning onwards, anyone that did arrive, well, Caden wouldn't know because he was supposedly asleep. I'd understand that. But from Saturday to Sunday morning, surely Caden was conscious and awake to see who was there. He was able to recall those 8 names that I've mentioned, but no word on Travis. No mention of Colton either. Now, Colton says it was the night before Noah died. What does that actually mean, though? I don't want to get mixed up again. The night before Noah died. Well, we know Noah likely died Monday morning. But considering some people like to say that Noah died nighttime, as in Monday morning, it can sound a bit confusing. So if I'm just basing it off my common sense, if Colton means Monday morning was when Noah died, the night before, going into Sunday night, is when I attended the party. Is that what Colton means? If not, and it's been worded incorrectly, then must be Saturday night. Either way, from the looks of it, Colton was present around Noah. Was there any specific interactions? I wonder. Did Caden Pressey see Colton there? And if so, why didn't Caden Pressey make a reference to it? I know you can't expect everything from Caden. The exception could be these supposed key people of interest haven't been mentioned previously, even though some may know of them, they just couldn't publicly talk about it. Yeah, I would understand that if Caden Pressey was in a situation like that. But you could only have that level of possible understanding after, when it's too late, when all this starts coming out. Because at the time, a timeline was given, names were provided, but not all. A total of 30 to 40 people at the party, and how many named individuals did we really hear? 8, 9, 10, 12 people in total maybe, which includes Mikey, which includes, honestly I can't remember all the names. The majority were not named. I can remember Caden saying, oh yeah, some of the Texas boys, there was 3 sets of Texas boys from Nakoma, somewhere else, and another place. One was called Pepe, and other names. They sound quite typical names, don't they? But no mention of Colton. I know that's not a reference to Texas, but still, no mention to Colton, no mention to Travis, no mention of JJ Bumpass. So why are the names only coming up now? I mean, is there anyone within this case community that have seen these names before and had a good idea that they were present at the party a long time ago, before this all started coming out? Because I know I joined the case in 2024, but it's the first time I'm hearing about this personally. So it is quite interesting. So for Colton to say, I was at the party the night before Noah died, and me says Noah told me Avery was always all over him. Colton, me and Carter played beer pong together and Jack got mad, so he didn't want me back the next night when everything happened. Right, in terms of how that's worded, the next night would be Sunday night. But to say when everything happened, that actually sounds like Monday morning. Once again, I can understand people's language and wording, as in, you know, even if it's going into the next day, you're going to sleep, you're still treating it as Sunday night, even though it's Monday morning. Then when you do wake up, whatever time it is on Monday, that's when you then officially name it Monday. But for me, it does get a little bit confusing, right? So is Colton saying he was there Saturday night or Sunday night? If we're talking about when Noah truly died, that's Monday. So I'd be guessing Sunday night is when things happen, where Colton's present. But yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. It's just interesting how Colton says, I was at the party, and me doesn't even really acknowledge that. He just simply goes in to say, oh yeah, and as for Avery, Avery was all over Noah from what Noah told me. At what point did Noah tell this individual about Avery before or during the party? Makes me think. We've heard the references in the past that supposedly Noah and Avery were together at some point. For how long, I'm not too sure. But Colton, the brother, the older brother to Jack, to simply be hanging out with Carter, the girlfriend to Jack Newton, just simply playing beer pong, and Jack got mad because of that, got mad at his own brother. It really says a lot. A bit of a short fuse, maybe a bit insecure, and possibly jealous. That Jack comes across as an individual that doesn't like other guys speaking to his girlfriend. Whether you call that controlling or not, I mean, it just doesn't sound too healthy. But maybe Carter is okay with it. Maybe. Does she feel trapped? Well, that's not my place to speak of. But the reason why this is even more interesting with the Colton situation is because we've heard it mentioned that at some point Noah Presgrove was hanging out with Carter in the corner of the room. And Jack was aware of that and got kind of angry and mad. So, it's happened once here, but it's happened as well with another guy. So it's not just Noah, which Jack could view as the problem, but it's interesting how it's mentioned here by Colton. My younger brother Jack didn't want me back the next night, I guess Sunday, when everything started to kick off, I'm guessing, or going into Monday. It would have to be Sunday night. To be honest, Saturday or Sunday, it doesn't matter. Caden would have been awake, probably, and aware up to a point and alert of these named individuals being present or not. And I've not heard of Colton's name being brought up before. So I do find it very, very interesting. But what I was trying to get at is that Jack, despite being close to Colton, literally family blood, Jack can still lose it to an extent and get angry with your own brother. So just think how Jack would have felt towards Noah then. The same thing supposedly did happen. And yet, the outcome after that point was a bit different. Was it all because of alcohol? Who knows? I'm just trying to process it in my head. There's a lot going on here. Jack got mad, so he didn't want me back the next night when everything happened. But I didn't think everything happened Sunday night. I thought it was Monday morning. Or are you talking about a crossover between Sunday night going into Monday morning, which is still treated as Sunday night because people haven't officially gone to bed just yet? That's what confuses me. I mean, if we was to say this was Saturday and it escalated and then Colton said, right, Jack was mad at me, I couldn't come back the next day, Sunday, and yet Noah was able to. Now, what day was it when Noah was in the corner talking to Carter? Was it on a Saturday or Sunday? Either way, still, Jack and Noah had an argument Saturday night. It was resolved. But it's interesting how Jack, in a way, was more lenient towards his supposed best friend Noah, but not so much to Colton, a brother by blood. Interesting, because Colton says, Jack didn't want me back the next day when things started to kick off going into the evening. But when it comes to Noah Presgrove, whether Jack was really angry or not, Noah Presgrove, after Sunday morning, after the breakfast, went back to his own place of living, and then Jack supposedly called Noah to come back to the party. Was he pleading, or was it a request? Was it a demand? Was it a suggestion? Either way, Noah was willing to head on down. Was it a trap? Who knows? But it's interesting how Colton didn't get the same treatment as in, we'll welcome you back, you can come back. No, it's like, you're supposedly talking to my girlfriend, how dare you do that? I don't want you here. I don't want you here the next day. What gives Jack the control to say who can come and who can't, or who should leave? Jack doesn't own the house. Jack doesn't run the party. It's Avery. So Avery should have the final decision and say. But is there a small chance that in other ways Jack didn't want his older brother Colton there because he didn't want any collateral damage? That Jack wanted to protect Colton from seeing what was going to happen to Noah? Is that possible? There's different ways of looking at it, right? You know, like how I first read it when Colton said, oh, and Jack got mad, so he didn't want me to be back the next night, to be around Carter mainly. But at the same time, when everything did happen, did Jack only want Colton to be away from the party because of the Carter Combs girl trouble situation, or more so Jack didn't want Colton to be present to witness the maybe murder of Noah Presgrove? Makes you think, doesn't it? But me says he is too jealous for his own damn good over her. Basically saying that Jack is very jealous. Colton Newton says, not your place, but sure. I guess that means that's not your place to say. You don't get the right to say that, but sure, that's correct. Maybe? Makes you think. Anyway, me says, she play with his head, Noah. Said she would tell Jack stories about men wanting her and it would piss Jack off. She plays with his head. Oh, Noah Presgrove said, what, Carter or Avery would tell Jack stories about men wanting her and it would piss Jack off. Well, the only reason why it would piss Jack off... Oh no, I've just realised, Jack off. Oh no. Apologies about that, I've just picked up on it. So we had Bumpass, we had hump ass, we had Jack shit, we've had Jack ass, and now we've got Jack off. Oh no. Anyway, apologies if anyone is joining in late. Be sure to rewind back for full context. But for Jack to be annoyed by she would mean Carter. If Jack gets annoyed when other guys talk to Carter, girlfriend, protectiveness, but overprotective, bit obsessive, yeah, unhealthy, negative. So to reword it, Carter Combs supposedly was playing mind games with Jack, and that Noah Presgrove said that Carter would tell Jack stories about other men wanting her. That doesn't sound too healthy, that, does it? How true is it? I'm not too sure, but it just sounds not good. And last but not least, just below, Colton says, I was not at B-dubs with JJ, by the way. Right, it's interesting how the conversation shifts so quickly just like that. You was not at B-dubs with JJ. Well, you couldn't be because supposedly you're also saying that JJ was at the party. Now, to say JJ was at the party, at least on this screenshot, it doesn't exactly say at what time or day. But what Colton says on this slide, that he was at the party the night before Noah died, so I'm guessing Saturday night. Either way, we've not heard Caden mention Colton's name before, so I find that very interesting. JJ, well, what we saw from JJ defending himself previously on Facebook by reaching out to his supposed friend called Caden Pecker, where it was confirmed with an alibi that JJ and Caden, at least, were at B-dubs. B-dub either meaning Bub Wilcoxon, don't know why they would be with him, or some kind of restaurant, fast food place. But it seemed to have backfired because Colton has said that, well, JJ was at the party house. And for Colton to say, well, I couldn't have been at B-dubs with JJ because I was at the party, at least the night before. JJ was at the party, no date or time given. It just wouldn't make sense if he did claim to be with JJ, because then you'd be going along with his fake alibi. So it makes sense by saying you weren't with him. So moving on. Me says, lol, coming from someone who looks like a dirty mop. Oh no. I mean, I can kind of understand that reference because of maybe the band and then the hair that drapes down on the sides. It does look like a mop thing. A dirty mop, well, I don't know about that, but some light-hearted insults. But me does say, have you seen yourself? Probably was jealous of Noah. I think this might mean Jack Newton, going along with the girl trouble. That Noah always got all the pussycat, I'm saying that because it's kind of an inappropriate word, whilst you and your gay brother or friend get 0. Yeah, Carter combs for him, but that beep has gone around. She easy pussycat. Wow. Is that so? Get her drunk and she give it up quick. I mean, I can understand some people would say, the wording and their outlook of the opposite gender could be considered appalling, rude, vulgar. Then at the same time, you could argue and say, is it any surprise the way people are nowadays? At the same time, this will be informal slang and stuff used just because it's younger people talking with one another and laziness with certain words. I get that. But still, certain mentalities and attitudes. Okay, this me individual, we don't know too much about them, but they've got these screenshots kind of exposing Colton Newton, which you could say is a good thing of this individual to do that and to actually screenshot and not hide. They're putting themselves on the line as a target. But what I would argue and say, if this person is an actual friend of Noah, I wouldn't say their attitude and outlook is good. Like when it comes to their outlook of other people, or more so maybe other genders, it just doesn't sound exactly appropriate. And that's not to sound like a do-gooder, it's just in terms of when you look at the party, whether it be a reckless one, a trashy party, and lots of people fiddling, diddling about and hanky-panky and whatever else in between. Very casual. Was it reckless? Recklessness can lead to trouble. Interesting. But it kind of comes across that supposedly Carter Combs isn't a saint, a bad person, from what Noah has told this me individual. Now, would Noah be the type of guy to speak bad of someone else and say sharp words? I don't know personally. We can't tell, or we won't know, because Noah's not here to speak on his own behalf. But the insult is Carter Combs is easy to get with. Doesn't sound too positive. And to say get the person drunk and they give it up quick, what, with consent or what? That could have a bit of a grey area. Anyway, Colton Newton says, I'd tell you what I really think about Carter if you wouldn't screenshot everything I say. So Colton's already aware of what's going on here, but he doesn't seem too bothered by it. But it's very interesting how, of all the people, it's me, not me as in me, Warlike Ref, but me on screen that has more to say about Carter than Colton does, because Colton, comes across as kind of respectful at first, where it says Carter is a decent girl. Carter is a decent girl. And yet me has quite a few things to say about Carter. And then Colton joins on in and says, actually, you know what? Indirectly, you're probably right. I could actually tell you what I really think, which is probably on line with what you're getting at. But can you stop screenshotting everything? What is it? It's like Colton joining sides now with this person speaking bad about Carter. Maybe Colton was being a little bit respectful out of Carter's name because earlier on in the conversation, Colton didn't know who this individual was and saw them as a potential stranger, so wasn't too sure what they shouldn't or shouldn't say. Does make you think. But still, the bit about the threat, which page was it on here, where Colton says, hey, but you get a group of some of your guys, 5 to 6 people, and we'll see what happens. What? 5 to 6 people get together? Just like how it was mentioned here. If you think I had anything to do with Noah's passing death, come on down to Comanche. Oh, is it going to be a 5v5 fist fight? What will that really solve? Oh, who's the baddest person out there? Why not just join the UFC and challenge for the BMF belt or so? And then who wins? What do you get out of it? Oh, you're the most dominant one. You're better at fighting. What prize do you get for that? More suspicion and focus on your name and self, and more ties with the possibilities of Noah's death. Just seems a bit silly, doesn't it? But does Colton actually elaborate what he really thinks? Me says even Bumpass has said Travis wasn't there, but you was. Even JJ said Travis wasn't there, but Colton was. And Colton says, I'm sure he did. Wait, you're too dumb for this shit. I know what he did not say that. He did not say, this language and wording. Me, I'm sure you would, I'm sure you would, you love your bro too much to ever to tell the truth. Protectiveness, looking out for family. Yeah, I get that. Colton, better. Ask me a question right now on everything. Ask me a question right now. I will tell you the truth to the best of my ability on everything I love. What do you think of Carton? Okay. So this conversation must have been mixed up with what we read earlier. As said, they weren't exactly in the correct order. So, yeah, never mind. Moving on. I don't know who Logan is. Me says, Avery's best friend, man. How do you know if Noah loved Phelan or not, bruh? He never said nothing about her. Okay. It's interesting how Colton has no idea who Logan is, but Colton seems to have a decent idea about who Avery is. Interesting. Playing the dumb game. I don't know what that means. I don't know them. Interesting. But it's not just Logan, the best friend to Avery, but more so possibly living there at the time from what Alicia said. Interesting. And it came out anyway by Logan in July when they were all in the house together eating lasagna, if you remember. So, if Avery is best friends to Logan and Noah wanted to sleep in Avery's bed, but then also at some point went to Logan and wanted to sleep in her bed and both denied, did Avery and Logan have a conversation about that afterwards? Oh, we're both being played. We should get our own back on Noah. I don't know. In terms of the bedroom situation with Logan, it was Jack in the last Partners in True Crime interview where he made reference to Logan's name and brought her name into all of it. And when it came to Noah walking away and the last person to see him, Jack, supposedly, but Jasmine at some point in the background said Avery was the last one. But in recent time, Jack on the Partners in True Crime one said, no, actually, it was Logan. Jack, Avery and Logan, all key names which have come up in this whole bloody conversation today and in the past too. One event leading to another, one following the other one out through psychological emotions where it leads you in a direction towards that said individual that caused you a certain way of feeling in the first place. This is what I mean. I don't know if I can do a psychological analysis of this event right now, but maybe another time. But yeah, it can definitely play a role in the direction, as in where someone goes, if anyone follows, and what happens next. Out of control or not. But for me to say, how do you know if Noah loved Phelan or not? Noah never spoke about her. Is that so? Interesting. Colton said, yes, he did. All the effing time. Me says, well, he didn't say that to me. Colton says, well, he did to me. To me, to you, to you, to me. What's this, the Chuckle Brothers? Me, he did call her a crazy bitch, but they fought. They fought. What does that mean? They had a fight at one point and Noah decided to call her a beach. So what, Noah goes about calling different females beaches. Why? How true is that? Because how it comes across here is me wants the truth and justice for Noah, but at the same time we'll throw some dirty laundry out and maybe throw a bit of shade at Noah as well. That's not much of a friend. Weird. And why does Phelan have to be brought into this? Is this because of what was mentioned above in some of the conversations about Logan? Because supposedly, from what Jack said, Logan and Noah kissed on Saturday night, supposedly. But Robin Smith, Ashley Chadwick, Presgrove's family have said more than kissing took place. JJ Bumpass being the boyfriend to Logan. But at the time, that's questionable. Was JJ there? Well, up to now, it seems to be the case, yes. On what day, what time, not too sure at the moment. But either way, for JJ to be present, maybe some way, somehow found out about Logan kissing or doing more with Noah, cheating. My God, a lot of trouble going on down there at the party. It's not just Jack maybe feeling jealousy, but JJ too, and a bit of betrayal as well. But less, what would you call it? Less paranoia, more rage, as in an actual event took place and you feel betrayed by it. How could they do that to you? How could your girlfriend do that? How could Noah do that? It depends how well JJ knew Noah, close or not. I think someone said they were friends on Facebook, but is that enough? You could still feel betrayal then. But that's what Presgrove's family said, Ashley Chadwick and Robin Smith, that supposedly Logan and Noah slept together. Was JJ present to witness that, or did he find out about it a day later, Sunday, Monday? And that's what caused a reaction. But if there was video footage of a murder which showed JJ and others, what do the others have to do with Noah? What would their motive be? I mean, sleeping with someone else, cheating, does it deserve death? Probably not. But you can still understand why the one on the receiving end could be very angry. They should be able to control themselves, of course, but you see it from both sides. It just seems like a very messy party the more we hear about this stuff. Anyway, what else do we have? Colton Newton says, after the pregnancy scare, Noah wanted nothing to do with her. Well, a little after. Is that so? Because when you go on, I think, Phelan's... Was it Phelan? Is Phelan a different person to Nevaeh? I do honestly get mixed up with all the bloody names. Phelan, Nevaeh, two different people? Or is it their full name? Either way, is Phelan 16 years old as of 2023? Yes or no? I think that was the case. So at what point did a supposed 16-year-old become pregnant when with Noah? Because would that be considered illegal? Underage? I'm not an expert because I'm not from the US. I don't know all the laws, but it doesn't sound too good. A pregnancy scare, Noah wanting to possibly distance himself because of the collateral damage to cool it off and to not get in trouble, maybe. But that's coming from Colton's mouth. Is it actually true or not? Who knows? Is it a form of misdirection? Is it a form of throwing some kind of shade toward Noah in a negative light? Because whilst all this talk is going on, there's a lot of drama, a lot of call-outs with others, party goers and stuff. Oh, that person sleeps about. That person's overly jealous. Oh, and that individual got pregnant at a young age. It just sounds very like a drama show. Me says, he also told me, and guess Noah, he sometimes felt weird talking about her in front of others because of the shit talk. But at what point? Are we talking about the party or not? Because if it's to do with the party, Phelan or Nevaeh or whoever wasn't there at the time. Were they not there at the time because Noah was still with them, or that long gone by them? That Phelan or Nevaeh or same individual still liked Noah, but Noah didn't, and Noah moved on. I wonder. Because on one of the individual's profiles was honouring and remembering Noah, saying, I miss you. Does Noah miss them though? I wonder. Let's move on. Me says, Noah was found Monday morning, bro. Sunday at 3 a.m. is basically Monday. It's not. Factually, it's not. 3 a.m. means 3 in the morning. It wasn't Sunday morning. Sunday night, things somewhat okay. Monday morning, September 4th, a literal different day. Date, same month, same year. The actual day of Avery's birthday. That's when things happened. So for me to word it like that sounds very reckless. I don't care. Colton saying, yeah, but you're saying it like it was last week or something. The shit was damn near a year ago. Does it matter how long ago it was? I wonder. Is this someone being critical of the other person's recollection of events? And that's why you're saying, oh, it's a year ago. So how do you expect me to be so accurate in memorizing everything? Who knows? Me says, early morning, it matters, even if it was longer. Colton, I know it matters, dumbass. That's not what I'm saying. What are you saying then? Is that it? Oh, no, is that it? Now, in terms of on Facebook, I believe it was the same screenshots posted. We could just glance through it quickly before we get onto the comments on Facebook, but this is very interesting. I think there's some key bullet points to take away from this. The good thing is the army page has, well, catched up or now acknowledging all of this bursting onto the scene, you know, because previously it was to do with the discussion page. Now it's on the army page where I've got more access to at this moment in time. More about that afterwards. But here, so for everyone who has believed that JJ was not at the party, well, here's your proof from the good old Colton Newton, also known as Jack Newton's older brother, was at the party, basically. Let's just clear the air on this one. But can you truly believe in Colton? I guess at the end of the day, when you got those within the case and community, some saying that JJ was there, and there's video footage of it. And if that's not good enough, then you look at the other side of people. Even the likes of Colton is saying that's true as well. It's just like, I guess, an extra bit of reinforcement. If people are still skeptical, it is what it is. I can understand people being cautious, patient. Now, I think the hardest thing is within this case is when initials overlap one another, like CN. The first thing that comes to my mind, CN, is Caleb Newton, the father. But in this situation, it means Colton Newton. Same initials, but a different name. I hope that doesn't confuse anyone. It's like with other initials, JM, Jasmine Milan, and then there's another JM. I think it's Jody something, Milan, or, you know, but we don't need to focus on that right now. Was there any screenshots that I missed out? Okay, so we actually scroll down like this. So I'll just read out anything that hasn't been said before. We've seen that. We saw that one. The mop. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we've seen that one. Early morning, we've seen that one. This could well be in the correct order too, compared to how I read it, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, we saw that one and that one. Right, so that's all under control. We've not missed anything there. That's good to know. But what about the comments section? So we're going to do all comments. I'm aware of time getting on a bit, but I'm going to try my best to read as many comments out if, you know, they're important and needed. Laura, TikTok o'clock, JJ Bumpass. Now, what you gonna do when we come for you? I'm turning into Hulk Hogan, don't know. Where's that Taco Bell receipt? Right, so JJ was the one that was shoving the Taco Bell alibi. But what was the whole point about B-dub? Is B-dub another place where you would eat? I'm not too sure. Anyway, Robin, something about JJ gives me chills. He should, because this boy ain't right. Hopefully, allegedly, in my opinion. And Mark, maybe swearing, maybe wearing stripes. Oh, okay. Me too. Ew. Real creeper. What's this? Ah, there we go. JJ Bumpass makes an appearance. Interesting. Saying to Laura, never said I went to Taco Bell, loser. To the best of my ability, what I can remember, I do remember Taco Bell being said. I just couldn't remember if JJ said it. I know JJ and that Snapchat conversation with his friend Caden Pecker about B-dubs being there and not being at the party. But I don't know what B-dubs really is. Taco Bell, is that another place they went to from one location to another? I don't know. Laura, you will need a beach-size crying towel, boy. Well, it just so happens that Warlight Ref, if you become a member on my channel, I actually have a custom emoji of a towel with pizzas on it, if you wanted to look for that. Anyway, the pig is out of the pen. Weren't you at the party house at 3 in the morning? Laura, creeper loser. JJ, nope, sure wasn't at any of them parties. I am begging you, please show me where anyone that was there says, I was there. Well, Colton says so. Or any proof that you say you have that I was there, because when I showed proof I wasn't there, y'all said I changed timestamps. Brittany, then why is Colton saying you were there at 3 in the morning? And that's the shot, what we saw earlier, the screenshot, and a bit more too. Amy Tuesday says, you didn't show any proof. The proof that you showed have already been proven to be lies. Is that the Caden Pecker screenshot, Snapchat conversation, or something else? Laura, you might be begging Bubba later. Please read what Colton says at the bottom of the screenshot. Bubba? What, Bub Wilcoxon? Is that what B-dubs means? JJ, prove to me it's a lie. Laura, poser. Prove to us no, it's true. Joyce Bergu, or Bergau, posting a picture of Caden Pressey, or I'm guessing Caden Pecker, when he was little is proof? What? Of little? What? Like an underage photo of Caden Pressey? Oh, right. Is that what the paedophile reference line is in the past? Joyce, that's sickening. And yet you called Kobe pedo. Maybe look in the mirror. You have one of the Newton boys stating you were there and that Jack Newton didn't want one of his brothers there the next night when everything happened. Maybe you should be questioning your buds who you've barely known, and you turn your back on your other friends. What I find interesting is Colton Newton, a person that seems to use threatening language in a very reckless way, doesn't make him look good, does it, in a case like this? Jack Newton as well, how he's changed the story, given the 4 a.m. timestamp supposedly knows the death of Noah. All that focus with time has been on the Newtons. And out of all of this, it was one of the Newtons that has confirmed that JJ was at the party, and people online that may have been very sceptical or questioning the Newtons in the past and thought they were responsible, are now in agreement, or at least acknowledging Colton, one of the Newtons, in highlighting JJ being a problem. Bloody hell, it turns about quick. With time. Well, not quick, but very sudden in the moment. JJ. Some that wasn't there is the one saying, I was there. Ask around. Wait, is JJ saying that, you're referring to Colton? Colton wasn't actually there, is the one that's saying, I was. So how would he know if he wasn't there to say that I was? So it's like really blame game, passing it back and forth, past the parcel. I said what I said about Kobe, and I'll stand on that. Joyce, you say you can show proof, and what you said this months ago that you weren't there. Oh, just let's show the pic of a hand that's the shape of a mouth. What? You posted the picture of Caden Pressey. How's that any kind of proof? Or do you mean Caden Pecker? I don't know which one we're bloody talking about, because Caden Pressey and Caden Pecker have the same initials. What a mess. You couldn't even show a proof of those dates that are being shown on these pics, but because, wait, they're in Snapchat. Tuesday says, you prove it's true. A lot of the pictures were lies. You posted a random bloody picture and then a picture of Caden as a child. I'm guessing that's Pressey. Now, Colton says you weren't where you said you were that night, so what's your new story? Why don't you just tell the truth, because your friends have turned on you and the actual genuine people that you should have counted as friends you never deserved in the first place? Joyce, yeah, well, having a picture of a child also presents yourself one that's not of you or your family. You're pathetic. Y'all want to deny ever having anything to do with Noah's death, but y'all had down in Texas, y'all didn't lose your life. Noah did. Please explain to me how he was killed. Something, what, desire wasn't a hit and run? I don't know why. Is that supposed to be a swear word or something? Dickhead? I don't know. JJ, how are you going to say that hand picture was the shape of a mouth when the cut is covered up? Those were not my pictures. My buddy sent them to show that it was him and not me that had a cut 2 months later, by the way. I posted timestamp pictures. Yeah, okay, but that, what would you call it, backstory behind it wasn't exactly made clear at the time. So even I got confused. You're going to try and present proof or, to suggest your innocence to counter someone's claims. It's got to be made clear. It wasn't at the time. Say that I've posted timestamp pictures of me at the gym the night of Noah's death, the latest being 11ish, in which I went straight home, went to bed, as I'd been at work from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. that day, and left work, went home, showered, and went to Lawton for a few hours with my new roommate. Did not go to Oklahoma with Travis Monson or Colton Newton, and did not know that day when I had not asked their alibi for the night. And then went to the gym and went home and went to bed. My phone does not ping there like y'all say y'all are making that up. A lot of claims of proof, but I've not seen enough of it. But if that's been posted elsewhere, that's probably why I've not seen it yet. But still, it's just not looking good. It's like stacking up against JJ. More and more people saying, no, he was there. But, you know, if you are responsible in some way, it's normal for you to deny things and to be defensive. It's like human nature. Obviously, it makes everything harder, drags stuff out, but it's just how humans react. Joyce, oh really? Well, not evidence you showed. Guess what, dude? I never said your phone pinged there. Oh, so it's like dropping some additional words in. Tell the police to come run my phone then. I don't know what to tell you. Joyce, oh, I'm sure Ellie is all over this now. It's called geofencing. At a time when it was mentioned back then, people within the Army page were saying how, from what we've heard of within the case and those particles, then they were claiming to have been searching for Noah, who's supposedly missing. See, that's what I don't want to forget about. The latest, hottest topic is, JJ and possibly Travis lurking in the shadows. Colton as well, in a way. It's like a band of dodgy people in the eyes of those in the community. But then what about Jack Newton? What about Jasmine Milan? What about some others who, claiming to be searching or taking that dodgy Snapchat selfie to say Noah's missing? Let's not forget that. Because there was skepticism, questioning there. This might have overshadowed it all because of how shocking it comes across as, but let's not forget the past. Because that geofencing supposedly changed the story up, as in adding more details to the story when it could have been added at the start. People didn't do that. Tell them to come see me then. Joyce, I don't need to tell them. Haha, they will come when the time is right. Tick tock. Shannon says, I have a question. Of course, you aren't obligated to answer. The narrative is that Elle and Noah. Why are we saying Elle? You mean Logan and Noah hooked up, fiddled about with one another Saturday night at the party. It's been said that him and Avery argued about because he wanted to sleep in her bed and she said, no, go sleep with Jay since you were with her last night. With Jay. LJ what? The hell's going on here? You mean go sleep with Elle because that's what you did the night before? Well, I've not heard that personally. How I heard it worded as in the last Partners in True Crime interview, which when Jack Newton was interviewed, and I don't know if it was said by Jack or if it was said by Ashley Chadwick, Robin Smith, either one, mentioning how when Noah asked to sleep in Avery's bed, Avery said, no, you can't. And that was more so because Avery didn't want to be like a second, third wheel in whatever relationship that was going on at the time, didn't want to be used. And with knowing of what happened supposedly the night before, I didn't know, nor did I hear about, if that's what you want, Noah, you can go back to her room then. I didn't hear that bit personally. So I don't know if that's just been added in or it's been mentioned elsewhere. Anyway, Shannon asks, Bumpass, weren't you dating Logan at that time? That's some of the conjecture. Is that why you were pissed about that along with other guys who had other reasons? So were you dating her at the time? You didn't confront Noah because of that? JJ says, I didn't even know Logan till late December when she added me on Snapchat from a birthday post. I met her one time in late November and did not speak to her and didn't even know what was her until we hung out for the first time. In terms of roughly that period of when they supposedly met and got together, I'm not saying it's true, but that's roughly what I was told in the past by a key individual. Not JJ, another person. And I say it vaguely, it's just because, I don't want to cause any trouble. Things might have changed since. People may have been told different things or learnt the truth and have changed the story, but no update was given when I questioned about it later. So not much can do there. But if on the basis JJ was aware of Logan, close or getting close, you could understand the jealousy thing there and the possible revenge factor. If JJ didn't know Logan, wasn't close, didn't speak, weren't together, then there'd be no reason for JJ to take Noah out then. It would have to be a completely different reason, wouldn't it? JJ says, at the time of Noah's death, I wasn't close with even Jack Newton. Okay, I don't think it really matters, because what about Colton then? Melanie, if you're guilty, I hope you rot in prison like a pig. Shannon, I know you don't owe an answer, so I appreciate that. It's a Bumpass. So basically, Shannon is trying to be polite to JJ, maybe in hopes of getting an answer. JJ says, who asked? Bacon says, just curious, how long until you were close with Jack after Noah? Because weren't you at the scrap pile with Caden, driving Jack's truck? I don't trust people to drive my car except my son, just saying. And then I read some posts from Noah's mom from like 6 weeks after, and you were very defensive to people for the Newtons. Now, I never knew, right, about supposedly JJ being the one at the scrap pile with Caden and possibly Jack, if that's to do with the golf club situation. Because once again, Caden Pressey, in the interview on Partners in True Crime, the first one what he did, Caden stated it that he and Jack were at the scrap pile behind Jack's place of living, and there was a third friend present. And Caden said he won't name that person because they weren't at the party, they had no role within the death of Noah, so there's no need to mention his name. Well, if that's JJ of all people, isn't that Caden indirectly stating that JJ was never at the party? You could say yes and no. One way of looking at it is, depending what time JJ supposedly was at the party, if it was at the time where Caden was asleep, and before that, when JJ wasn't there, all Caden would know is, well, JJ's not here. But when going to sleep, you wouldn't know whether they were there or not, whether they arrived later or did anything. So maybe Caden, up to a point, was in the dark as well. I don't know, but how true is it that supposedly JJ was that third friend with Jack and Caden at the scrap pile with the golf clubs? And who was the one to move the clubs on after that? Did anyone panic in the moment and think, shit, that's the item that I used earlier? Who knows? St. John says, and if he's not guilty, you'd be issuing an apology to him. Okay, he's got some counterpoints. Stephanie, apologies aren't really difficult if they're warranted. Okay. Devin, BS, Snow Rene. Interesting name. Is Snow Rene? No, not what I'm thinking of, because that's the first name, Rene Milan, different. Who is JJ? I feel like I've missed so much. I mean, there's a lot catching up because a lot's gone on in a short space of time. JJ Bumpass, possibly a friend to Noah and supposedly at the party as it's been claimed through these conversations. So, that's it for just that part. Vanessa, wow, JJ. Tracy, a different Tracy. He thinks they just dance, nothing more. His exact words to me on a previous post, I think, in my opinion, he is an easy target to take the fall for his friends. Maybe he should start talking before his friends put him on. Maybe the Newtons are telling the truth once and JJ was there. Isn't it such a weird turnaround how there was so much scrutiny, questioning, suspicion with the Newtons in general, and then what now? The Newtons are the truth seekers? What the hell? What's this one? Vanessa says, bloody face and all. A photo of JJ Bumpass. Looks to be constipated from the looks of it. I don't know if that's constipated with all the shit that comes out the mouth or other reasons. That's just being lighthearted though, okay? Because I'm not in a position to be insulting people to that extent. But is that really blood around the person's mouth, or is it more so lipstick? Could be anything. I don't know if they really are in pain or they're kind of like smiling, laughing. I mean, how relevant is it to the death of Noah? Is this seen as at the time or more so like playing mind games? It could be interpreted in many different ways, right? A lot of people are calling him a pig. I don't know if that's because of attitude or appearance, but whatever. Amy, disgusting. How could he hurt Noah? There'd have to be like a strong motive behind it. Obviously, not really much warrants the death of someone and the overkill, but heat of the moment, and if alcohol did play a role, and if it's a jealousy factor and a snap mentality, whether they've done it in the past or not, things can escalate pretty quick. But there doesn't seem to be any regret sharing or guilt. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm just talking in general within the case, from what I can remember. Chaz, this is going to be a stupid question, but where was this photo taken? It's not a stupid question, it's a key question. Is it relevant to the case or not? Vanessa, his TikTok, not sure where. So, if it was relevant to the party on the day of Noah's death, then you could say, well, wow, could that be Noah's own blood on the JJ's face? I'm not going to jump that far ahead. It could well be completely different, out of context, whether it be much older in the past or much later on after the death of Noah. But some people could still say, oh, is that some kind of mind games of playing with people's emotions? Oh, I've got blood on me, literally. I don't know. Laura, not at a studio, that's for sure. Is that blood? I thought it was lipstick. Like messing about, but anyway. Chaz, by the way, the photo looks under the assumption that at the party house, and I'm about 90 to 95% sure that is blood on his face. To me, it looks like the photo was taken after Noah getting beat. That could also be wrong. I mean, if that's honestly the case, it looks like it's inside of the house. So, what did everyone else think then? Jasmine, Avery, Carter Logan, they're all giggling along. I just find it hard to believe, because then it makes even more people guilty, even those that may have not laid hands on Noah based off a murder situation theory concept, to just laugh along with it, not question, not report it, not say anything. Just as bad, covering for them. Andrea says, he is so unattractive, to put it lightly, and no wonder all those girls were crazy about handsome Noah. I mean, this is a bit off subject, but the reality is in life, you could have person A, person B. Person A and B both look the same way, but A has a more positive attitude and nice and natural compared to B, who's very negative, toxic, and mean. At the end of the day, a handful of people may praise, be nice, or things might develop between someone and person A, and then person B could complain and say, oh, it's not fair, and complain and whine, and then insults can be thrown at person B. Oh, it's because you're a mess, you look ugly, you look a joke, no one will go anywhere near you or touch you. But interestingly, whilst hearing those characteristics being said as an insult towards that person, and yet person A shares those same characteristics in appearance, so who's really being truthful at the end of the day? Because if people are stating that someone is ugly, no one will want to be with you, then why are you with someone that shares the same characteristics and severely just as ugly as that person you're calling out? Why are you not saying it's a person A then? Oh, because there's other reasons, other positives to why you like that person. Well, you're not clearly being upfront and positive. If you're going to call someone ugly, and it just so happens that the person you're with is just as ugly, why are you not mentioning it to them? It seems like something is stopping you. And I'm not mentioning it here, but it's just something I've, picked up on in the past for so long, but I never knew how to word it. It's interesting. At times, if you're positive, if you're a good person, other people around may not say what's truly on their mind of what they think about you or how they perceive or see you. But if you get on their wrong side, their bad side, all the insults come flying on in, and it makes you wonder, did they have that stored in their mind from the beginning that they came across you? And that can be in many, many situations. It does make me think. It's like with, not quite the same way, but within the Dylan Rounds case community, the odd viewer on my channel, they weren't negative, they weren't fully positive, they were just like average. But then when they suddenly had issues with me, which was unnecessary, uncalled for, they ended up turning on me and then had a lot to say to get off their chest. A lot was on their mind. And I was thinking, all that what you say and think about me, were you thinking that too back in the past? You just didn't have a motive or a reason to say it? There was no trigger point? Yeah, it goes very deep, but that can be maybe as a separate video. When is this from? Gross. Vanessa, not sure it's his picture on TikTok. Maybe he is proud he hurt Noah, but it's okay seeing a photo of someone with redness on their face, but if there's no timestamp, there's no date, there's no year, you can't go all in on it. And even if it's the same year, the same month, but not the exact day, the date, still, you don't know what that red stuff is. You could assume it's blood, but it could also be many other things. It's like, well, I don't know, photos online, people staging a crime scene, staging something as like a prank joke on YouTube to get lots of views, blood when it's not real, makeup, things like that can happen. Laura, Noah was the bomb and the best guy to ever will come out the soonest state, bar none. Laura, Mark? Who's Mark? Vanessa, the photos from TikTok. Trophy picture. Susan Williams. I cannot understand how anyone doesn't think of others' feelings, much less doesn't care if they hurt someone intentionally. My dad taught me. Okay, bless Noah's heart. Okay. So we've got that. What else do we have? TikTok boys. Once y'all are in prison, you won't be so tough then. Y'all be someone's daddy or son. I don't know. Oh no, Lisa. Hope they like it in the bum ass. Oh no. So you've got oh boy, we've had a few names today. So JJ Bumpass accidentally bumps into a prisoner and the prisoner says, "What's your name?" Bumpass. Ah! Not like that. Too late. Oh god. What else? Let's see what he has to say now. Jody, if I may ask, is this saying JJ and CN were at the party Sunday night, Monday morning? Who is CN texting with in your screenshots? So there was a bit of confusion about this. Read who is at the top of the messengers, and it did say Colton Newton and me, but who is me? And that was a good point, that. And other people were wondering, and it wasn't exactly made clear. Vanessa made it clearer, saying, I heard it was a friend of Noah, is what was told to us. But this friend of Noah, why have they not revealed themselves for that full transparency? Is it because it makes them a target? But either way, they're probably going to be a target anyway. If you can see their name in the background from the perspective of Colton Newton, we did have a problem with those screenshots being taken, right? But you know, a friend of Noah, when just recently there was another person claiming to be the best friend to Noah. It's just not good. It's interesting what Colton has had to say, you know, throwing JJ under the bus, exposing him there, yeah. But this friend of Noah is a little bit questionable in terms of their attitude and how they word things when talking about the opposite gender and supposed gossip from what Noah told me here, from what Noah told me there, and whatnot. I mean, what good does that do when trying to learn about the case? You're here for justice, but now you're too busy talking about the past and all the dirty laundry. I mean, not exactly good in presenting yourself. Not exactly appropriate, but oh well. Michelle, me isn't Colton because he can't be talking to himself. Of course, yeah. Colton is talking to someone else. Yeah. Any names? It was a friend. Colton did admit he and Travis were at the party night before. Well, Colton said he was at the party the night before. Travis' name wasn't mentioned. Colton was defending Travis. Colton, though, was saying JJ was at the party, but no time given. At least from that screenshots what I saw of today. What I'm saying is the Newtons have lied since day one. Jack Newton is dad, and now I'm sure the brother. But the me being the friend who is sticking up for Caden and Noah looks to be trying to get some answers. But then again, with Colton highlighting JJ being at the party, Colton is kind of cooperating out of everyone that could. It really is a bit weird. Is that it? The comment thread there appears to be. Vanessa Salazar, can you give an update on the post from yesterday about your timeline? Which one was that? Still looking where I read the phone call. Still haven't found it. Is that the 5:30 timestamp or so? Find proof or find a correction. What are you talking about? It's an old post and the stuff has been wiped off the internet. Do you see the party videos we once saw? Please, right now, it's time to chill out. Chill, daddy, chill. But this is the thing. If the timeline, which Vanessa has shown a photo of, the 5:31 of Jack and a call made to police or something, I don't know how helpful that is, Vanessa, but I did actually cover that supposed timeline, which was actually reposted on, or just posted on the Reddit page, the Noah Presgrove one, the main one. and I covered it at some point towards the start of when I was covering this case. I don't know how helpful that is, but it is documented and archived on my channel. It might be a bit awkward to find though. What else? I think Vanessa knows what she's talking about. Okay, no one else has seen anything about Jack calling 911. I haven't. I mean, if it's true, it would open up some different possibilities, but we'll see. It was online. It wasn't my fault if it's no longer there. Vanessa, don't worry. It is present, at least on my channel. I have documented it. Because seeing it on Reddit makes it a fact, and I'm a stupid one. Oh wow, never mind, not even worth responding to you anymore. This is exactly what we've been talking about for months now. Uh-oh, getting a bit dodgy. Steve, you said Jack Newton called 911 at 5:30. We all know Jack Newton messaged his dad at 5:53. Well, there's a difference between calling police and calling a family member. Steve says she needs to delete her post about the timeline she done. If she can't show us proof he did it, the 5:30 has never been mentioned before now. The 5:30 timeline, in terms of that actual timeline photo, wasn't created by Vanessa, at least to my knowledge. It was a post a long time ago. If I find it, if I can come across it on my channel, I will show it to you, and I can at least provide the date of when it was posted on Reddit. Interesting to hear this conversation between Colton Newton and who? I made sure I screenshot this a month ago when I asked JJ if he was at the party. And what is mentioned here? Were you at the party that weekend? Nope. Oh, well, that's pretty short. Anything else? Friend of Noah, I can imagine identity being protected for his safety. But is his identity truly being protected for his safety when you're in a private conversation with a person on Snapchat, you'll see Colton's name, Colton will see your name, unless this friend of Noah was using a fake name on Snapchat, and that's why Colton couldn't recognize that person and asked, are you a friend of Noah? Interesting. Shannon, also sounds from the first couple of lines that Colton thought the account was fake, so it could be someone under a fake name to get him to talk. Maybe. And whilst the person has their identity protected, was it also protected at the time of when that account was set up on Snapchat or when the name was changed? That JJ Bumpas is the one that when Caleb Newton was being questioned was answering for him before he could respond. Practically, he's been on my radar since I did a little background search on his Facebook profile. Doesn't look like he has much going for himself. Colton said Bumpass arrived at 3 in the morning the night of Noah's death. How sick. Turning on themselves, 100%. Colton didn't say it. Whoever me is said it. He was found Monday morning, bro. Sunday at 3 in the morning is basically Monday. No, that's saying when Noah was found. He was found Monday. Yeah, Noah was found Monday. But not 3 in the morning. 4 in the morning is when Jack said Noah passed away. 5:43 was the first call, official one, made by one of the truck drivers, and then 5:53 by Tyler Hardy, second truck driver. So I don't know what 3 in the morning is all about, kind of insinuating that that's when Noah died or was already found by 3 in the morning. What the fuck? That's weird, unless I misunderstood it. And what did Colton answer? He said, yes, he knows. Go bother someone else. Don't believe it. Okay. Unless I watched or looked at the screenshots in the wrong order as for the response. Who's the me? Okay. Well, Colton keeps coming up now, so some of it doesn't make sense. Why would Colton Newton state that Jack Newton didn't like it, that Carter Combs and him were playing beer pong and didn't want him there the next night when everything happened? JJ was there, he said that, and said him and Travis weren't there. I mean, did Jack not want Colton there the next night or the next day going into Monday because he wanted to protect his older brother from getting involved in all this shit, or more so because of the jealousy factor with his girlfriend? Jack Newton felt it was under threat. Okay, starting to think maybe Colton Newton and Noah got into it, and maybe Jack Newton got in the middle because there's his brother, best friend, and things just went out of control. As not doubt, Colton Newton has a temper normally when you're sober and have one, and then mixed that with being drunk, it's even worse. Yeah, Well, Colton said only JJ went there at 3 in the morning on the night. I mean, at least from what I read, I didn't read it as JJ got there at 3 in the morning unless I read the screenshots in the wrong order. I'll reread it afterwards unless I've missed something. It sounded like he was found at 3 in the morning. Not he arrived, but he was found. Why would you be found if you're arriving? Found as in, normally, oh, a person's gone missing, but they've been found. Or a person hasn't been seen for a while, but now they've been found dead. To say 3 in the morning, though, in that same sentence, doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, Laura, afraid it's way more than that. Best friend forever, Jack Newton, CLD, don't know what that means. Noah begging him to come back Sunday night. C, fill in the homicide in blanks. Did Jack really beg Noah to come back? Colton Newton is roided up. I don't know about that. Susan, this is starting to sound very possible and why Jack is involved and why Noah keeps calling him a snake. Why Noah calls him a snake? In the spirit sessions with Sharai, there was one session where Noah said a guy with a large build came from behind and hit him with something heavy, but not his fist. Noah called him a coward, in which that would be true. Anyone who come at you from behind is a coward ass. Beach. Colton didn't say it. Yeah. Okay, let's just see. He was found Monday morning, bro. Sunday at 3 a.m. is basically Monday. Yeah, but you're saying it like it was last week or something. Early morning. I just don't quite see it. He was found Monday morning. If that was a full stop, he was found Monday morning. That's true. Noah Presgrove was found Monday morning at least 5:43 a.m. Sunday at 3 a.m. is basically Monday. Right, so what the problem is here, there should have been a full stop. This stupid punctuation, that's why it's confused me. That's why. Colton, yeah, but you're saying it like it was last week or something. Does that matter? Damn near a year ago, but what are we getting at there? Still don't follow it. Concerned about JJ after the mayor said that Logan and Noah hooked up at the party the night before. But you can say you're concerned with what JJ said about that, but unless it was passed on through. In the last Partners in True Crime interview, Robin Smith, Ashley Chadwick said the same thing. So who knew what first? And how did it come about? Because then comes the pictures of JJ's hand. Okay, just made me feel okay. Oh, there's JJ ass. Bumpass. Oh my god, so many more comments. We'll work our way up. It's just I've got to be careful with time. It's getting a bit late here. Kelsey, don't say much. Susie, I've always thought Colton part of it. I haven't personally, but when I saw the threats by Colton in the past, I thought, why be so defensive and upfront and direct if you weren't even there? But seems like he was, because he said it himself in recent time. But I didn't see it admitted in the past, so why only now? Weird. Chell, looks like the time has come where friendships are falling apart and everyone is turning on each other. Why now, though? Because people feel like the walls are closing on in, so it's like every man for themselves almost. Andrew, we're finally at the stage where people start pointing the fingers. I still think Colton Newton was there as well at the time. I think the kids are scrambling to try and throw people under the bus, starting with the least liked all. Eventually, investigators will have what they need. It's possible there's truth and some lies here. Colton Newton hated Noah and then gets into it with Jack Newton over being with his girl. Jack Newton invited Colton for the next day. Perhaps he gets mad. Jack Newton is cool with Noah still being there when Noah gets too close to Cod's games as well. Could be more of a sibling rivalry and jealousy of a friend. Never know. Bumpass, Bumpas, bump. I'm trying to think of another word. Throwing him under the bus. Throwing him under the not under the bottom, under the bus bump. Do you know what? Fuck that. I'm trying to be clever, but it's not working out, is it? I sound like a bit of an idiot. Why anyone would believe Colton is beyond me. Amanda Huete said a video everyone is talking about is true then. The murder video. I've not seen it, but I heard it's true. I don't know how the police haven't solved it yet. Right, well, we'll see what happens there with that video. Brenda, has anyone ever stopped to think that maybe these young adults are playing you like a fiddle? What, like misdirection to cause even more confusion? You never know. We'll see. So confused. Right. Oh my god, I thought that said scrotum. It says scrogum. Oops. Taylor Breeze. That's a good name, that. Jennifer, there'd be no reason to phone pings other than the crucial time frame, in my opinion. Assuming this Snapchat exchange is actually accurate, of course. Oh, some people think it could be a fake one set up. And let's look at this final one, because we have finally caught up. Take in mind, by the time of this video being recorded, more comments may have been added, but I'm just working with what's present in front of me. And to be honest, this is more than enough, because there's been a lot that's transpired. Bumpass says, I never claimed Colton was with me at B-dubs, but okay. Colton said you were at 3 a.m. the night Noah died at the party. Bumpass says, show me, read the screenshots. I did, and not once did I see JJ was there at 3 in the morning on the night Noah died. I would agree with that, because I tried reading the timestamp myself and I just couldn't understand it. But let's just reread it again, because you never know, I might misunderstand. You sure? Pretty dumb. Right. Well, the bit about someone saw you in a video, it's heard that every day, but what does that mean? Saw you. Who's you? As in, we saw you, Jack, in the video, and he's heard that mentioned every day. Or, oh, JJ in the video. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's JJ, because when you single them all out, me says, what you want when I see the video of you and Travis, that's 1, with the fat ass JJ, that's 2, and you yourself, which is Colton, but that's 2, JJ or Travis. So who is Colton referring to by, oh, you in the video? JJ or Travis? No, true. Travis was with me. Oh, so you could interpret it as in, if Colton says, I was down at the party the night before Noah's death, Travis was with me too, as in Travis was there Saturday along with Colton. That's how you could word it, as if you're applying it as in this whole same conversation. I know he didn't do anything, because you were around Travis at the time to know what he did and what he didn't do. But if you, Colton, are saying that you were also at the party the night before Noah's death, a Saturday, let's put it that way, was Travis with you then? Is that what it means, really? Kind of a bit of a contradiction in a way. What else? He was found Monday morning. Yeah, Noah's body. Sunday at 3 a.m. is basically Monday. Well, it's not, but I kind of understand what people are getting at in a casual way. But still, where do I see the name JJ arrived at 3 in the morning? All I see is me saying that Sunday basically means 3 in the morning. What the fuck? Have I ate some mushrooms or something? Because I just can't quite wrap my head around it in terms of what other people are saying, that JJ arrived at 3 in the morning. I mean, Colton, me, on the screen says on the other screenshots that JJ was at the party. Okay, that's good enough. And me says based off the phone pings. But what's the timestamp of that phone ping? Why did me not mention that? Unless this screenshot here is in relation to what was just up here. Maybe I read it in the wrong order. So let me just try again, because this is my raw reaction. I know some people might be or find me annoying, but, you know, I've had to try and learn this all on the spot within a few hours, because I've been kind of busy. So, me says, JJ Bumpass, his phone pinged at the party house. And Colton also says, yes, JJ was there. Is it because Colton was there too to acknowledge that JJ was present? You could interpret that way. JJ's phone pinged at the house. He was found Monday morning. Is that a part of the same sentence? JJ was at the house because the phone ping states that, and he was found Monday morning. Why would he be found Monday morning? If you're coming on down to a party, you are visiting, you are arriving. When you are found, it's because people are looking for you. If people are having a party and it's whoever comes or whoever's invited, you're awaiting the arrival of someone. You're not going to send an invite to a person to come on down and then you say, "We found you." No fucking shit, we've put you on the mark and said you can come on down. What is going on with this language? That's a problem with me. Maybe because I've got different language and wording, I don't quite see it in the same way. Maybe if I spoke like a spasmoid, I'd probably understand it better. Anyway, screenshots were sent to everyone from Noah's friend. Sent to everyone. Only recent? So I'm guessing this conversation only occurred recently, if I'm correct in saying. Read again. Sorry about the background noise, it's someone outside. Colton Newton clearly says JJ there, not Travis. Yeah, but Colton also says he was with Travis. At what time or what day? Because if it's the same day or time as when Colton said he was down at the party the night before Noah's death, is that with Travis too? Because then he would have contradicted himself. Doesn't state a time. Vanessa says the next screenshot says Sunday at 3 in the morning. But that's after saying he was found. And normally when I hear the sentence, he was found, okay, a male was found. Does that mean that Noah was found? Noah Presgrove's body was found? Or does it mean that JJ Bumpass was found on Sunday, 3 in the morning, which basically means Monday, 3 in the morning? But why would JJ be found if he's arriving at the party? You only find someone, or that term is used normally when you're searching for a person. It's just a weird word. If it was changed differently too, he was spotted at the party, and then you said 3 in the morning, I would understand and agree with what Vanessa is getting at here. But in terms of like standard English language, I just can't see it at the moment. Okay, and I can't downgrade myself. I can't lower my IQ levels to try and understand it from Bumpass. I've got an ass, but it's not bumped. Actually, I don't know what size it is. Can you even measure your bottom anywhere? I don't know if you can. You can measure your waist, your hip, but there don't seem to be a measurement for people's bottoms. I know it's a bit off topic. Well, it's not really, because it's to do with asses at the end of the day. Anyway, Vanessa, Colton was being accused of being there with JJ and Travis, but he said him and Travis were not there, only JJ, Noah's friends, sent that to everyone. Colton was being accused of being there with JJ, and Colton responds by saying, well, Travis wasn't there, but I was the day before Noah's death, to try and say I was only there for like 1 day, so I didn't come back afterwards, so anything happened to Noah, I'm not to know. But when we heard about that murder footage, who did it actually show within the footage? Supposedly JJ, supposedly Travis, Colton, anyone else? I can't remember if Colton's name was mentioned or not, but heard Travis and JJ. But for Colton to kind of meet halfway, yeah, I was there, but the day before. The next time round, wasn't there because I wasn't invited, I wasn't allowed to be there. So you took orders from your younger brother. Normally the older brothers tend to be a bit more dominant because of the hierarchy of age, but you decided to listen to Jack, even though the actual birthday girl of the actual house who invites people was Avery. Weird how Colton would bow down to Jack and say, yes, master, I won't come back the next day. Whatever. What else do we have? Shannon, the screenshot seems to be out of order. Maybe, in terms of the ordering of it or how I ordered it myself. To me, this is like reading between the lines. Yeah, because the conversations do skip a bit. Maybe it wasn't in the correct order or whatever. Vanessa, it's okay, proof is here, but believe some sicko. So obviously, I've taken a lot from those screenshots and it's very interesting, but as for the actual time of JJ, I just can't see it at the moment because of the poor language, the lack of punctuation, and how the sentences skip along. So that's my reasoning behind not understanding it at the moment there. JJ, he says he was not with me at B-dubs. Vanessa, he said you were there at 3 in the morning. Don't twist it. Nobody cares about B-dub. What, Bub Wilcoxon? He literally did not. Vanessa, you are hilarious. Keep denying it. Noah's friend. It's nice how Colton said how Noah whooped your ass. Bacon, he's saying you were at the party house at 3 a.m. He's a great wrestler, okay. Amy says, I'm so glad Noah beat your ass. Vanessa, whilst you at it, delete Caden's childhood photo. Bit creepy when people ask for proof of your innocence and you showed a photo of Caden as a young boy. I mean, it's a bit random, that. Creepy or not, it just is unnecessary and doesn't actually answer the original question. JJ posted a pic that showed that was taken at Caden's house to show the guy was there days after the hand cut. Does your husband not please you enough or something? Oh, what the hell? The guy was confirmed by family, you lie too much. Then I would like footage proof because Caden Pressey's mother herself, Alicia, said that they never said that. And they have cameras all through the house, so they will have the footage if that happened. Oh, but just so happens, JJ Bumpass, is that the high-tech cameras weren't working on the day of the party. How unfortunate and convenient. Right, nobody's protecting you now. If you've seen it, then I'm sure you have, so you shouldn't mind just going ahead and posting it, right, unless you just hear that rumour and believe it, of course. Well, after what Colton said, we'd trust a word from you, not to mention having, okay. Y'all don't trust anything Colton says, but trust it when he says that. I mean, not to pick sides, but JJ has a point there. Just on the basis that when it comes to the Newtons, right, the 7-year-old girl dying in Warwick Lake in the past and then other deaths along the way, the situation with picking up teeth at the highway or a tooth, situation of distributing items out afterwards, the situation of Renee meeting with Caleb in the gun situation, bloody arms dealer type scenario, right, and other bits and bobs along the way, the golf club situation, Jack Newton around that too, at the scrap pile behind his place of living, convenient, all kinds of stuff where the stories have changed as well with times, some questionable things in between with the Newtons, the family as a whole, skepticism, questioning, and all of a sudden, Colton, of all people, the one that was threatening people in the past, we just accept what he's got to say now. And there might be some truth within it. And it just happens that other people are saying the same thing. So even though people may be at necks with one another, they're in consensus with one thing at least, so they can put differences aside, which is a positive, which may make more reinforcement behind the truth of it. But still, you could say there's a bit of a U-turn. Maybe. But I'm not, hopefully humans don't suddenly turn on me just because I analysed JJ Bumpass with that one comment, but we'll see. Well, at least he was honest enough to tell him, one of the rats there. Honest on that one occasion, but why was Colton so threatening in the past when it came to Stephanie Millan, of all people? Tracy, love to comment, right? Because he doesn't want his son to go down. Better watch out, starting to look like your friends are telling on you. They're trying to put you there for a reason. Tracy, you're getting mad at the wrong person. Vanessa wasn't the one that said it. Your good old buddy did. Like, seriously, we'll see what was said about you, however, you seem to be blind. I mean, I saw that it was weird that JJ was at the party from what me said and from what Colton said. But as for the timing, I just didn't understand that because the sentence, the paragraph, it just didn't connect well. Maybe I'm not reading correct. Maybe I'm malfunctioning inside like a computer with a virus. Maybe my mind is corrupt. I don't know. Honest, making him sure, people clear. JJ has gotten also caught in many lies. Please highlight in your snap screenshot where Colton said JJ was at the house 3 a.m. So it looks like I'm not the only one who's kind of having trouble in looking at the precise wording and language. As for everybody watching in the chat right now, can you let me know if you see it clear that it clearly states that JJ was at the house at 3 a.m? Because from what I'm reading it states it as JJ was at the house based off the phone ping, and then it says he was found. He was found. What does that mean? He was found at the house and the phone ping proved that? Oh, it's just the way the sentence is structured. Maybe that's what the problem is for me. It definitely goes to show that depending who you are and how you interpret language, if it's worded incorrectly or there's poor punctuation, it can lead to a bit of a mental block. Anyway, probably just as guilty, but start talking now before it gets out on him. Where did Colton say Noah whooped JJ's arse? I don't think they said that that's what actually happened, but that's what Noah is capable of because he's good at wrestling better than JJ is. I think that's what was meant, actually. I think everyone read it wrong and is saying Noah whooped JJ, but the screenshot says would, meaning if they had got into a fight. Exactly, Carla. Language, wording, preciseness. People need to slow down when reading things. That's a fair point to make. The screenshot does not say he beat his ass. It says he would. That Noah is capable because he's good as a wrestler. I do understand that. So it's good that Carla picks up on that. But still, nevertheless, Colton said JJ was at the party. But also Colton said he was at the party day before. Interesting. But also Colton says he was with Travis. But what day was that? Same day as when Colton said he was at the party, but then that would mean Travis was at the party too, but Colton said Travis wasn't. So, yeah, a little bit of conflict, but that's what happens when it's not exactly typed out correctly and worded. Just like when JJ did his little defense thing in the past, well, previously, and the context or the caption, what he added in, what we saw today, should have been added back then, which wasn't. So, it is what it is. That's why I try and explain myself as much as I can with certain situations, just so there's no misunderstandings. There's enough room for learning, but here, there's a few gaps. But a lot's gone on, and there's even more as of today. There is just simply not enough time. So join me tomorrow, possibly, as we look further into the ongoing stuff, other people in danger, trouble, all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. So be on the lookout for it. If you do want to slow down, or if you feel that people are getting ahead of themselves, I get that, I understand that. I will try and keep the balance and look at it from all sides, so don't worry. Hopefully you found this video interesting. I'll see you next time, whenever that is. And be sure to like and share this video so more people see it. And furthermore, it helps archive all these conversations, and in addition, I can add my own analysis on from what I've previously heard of with time. And then maybe eventually, hopefully I can do a map analysis as well, once I get a good understanding, and I'm getting closer to that. So be on the lookout for future videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Good night for now.